First of all, I'd like to say, if this is any indication of the evening we're going to have with collaboration and wonderful discussion, it's going to be a long evening. But that's not a bad thing. That's actually what this is all about tonight, is to really reminisce and talk about the greatness that is Utica Community Schools, both past, present, and into the future. And tonight we're really going to acknowledge and celebrate some very wonderful people, 13 honorees that are very deserving of this excellence presentation that we're providing them tonight, and most importantly, for our community. My name is Robert Monroe. I'm the superintendent of Utica Community Schools, and I want to say to you, the proud, very proud superintendent of Utica Community Schools. And those of you that are out there that have known, I've had conversation with several of you about a community event, bringing people together, celebrating the successes that we have seen over decades in Utica Community Schools. This vision has now become a reality. And it is just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to share memories and experiences with not just 13 wonderful people, but there are so many people in this room deserving of the great work that we have done over many, many years and celebrations. I would be remiss if I just did not say, and I want to say a big thank you to the teachers that are in this room, that are still today part of the wonderful legacy of excellence that we're not only celebrating the work that has been done, the work that they are doing currently moving this district forward in a very positive manner. And we're going to make great things happen educationally for kids. And I want to thank them for that. I also want to thank the administrators that are also here in the room, that are here to celebrate the long legacy that we have had in the school district, and also the support staff that are here. But I do want to single out a specific group as we begin to get the program moving forward. One of the proud legacies is the quality of our fine arts and music programs that we've had here in Utica Community Schools, not to mention the great work that all of our art teachers in the fine and performing arts have done across the district. And I know they're over here on this side of the room, and I want to thank them for that. But specifically, please join me in thanking the Utica High School Jazz Band under the direction of Mr. Brett Bays. Let's give him a nice round of applause. Thank you, Brett. And thank you, Jazz Band. Thank you very, very much. I'd also like to acknowledge the incredible piano player from the lobby, Madeline Witalski of Eisenhower High School, that was giving us a wonderful rendition as you were coming in this evening. Let's give her a nice round of applause, please. Now, that being said, our students will join us for dinner, and I'm glad that they can do that, but we know that they have some homework to do later on tonight, so we're going to excuse them just as we get into the program and as we continue to complete this evening. We want to further share the quality of our fine arts program as we honor our country with the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask them to come up at this time. Please welcome from Henry Ford II High School, Madison Bombach, Layla Calhoun, and Lily Lucido.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Could we please give a nice round of applause once again to our Henry Ford II singers? Okay, you're already going back at the tables. I understand conversation is important. Please give me a few more minutes and we will get dinner started. This evening we welcome 13 individuals for their roles in building the strong foundation that we enjoy. They have different roles. And many of you have seen that in some of the literature that we have shared. There's administrators in this group. There's teachers, support staff, a graduate, a UCS board member or two, and a mayor. There is wonderful community participation out of our 13 honorees. But they all share a common thread. The common thread is they are tirelessly dedicating themselves to this community, not just the UCS community, but the community at large and student success. There are many other dignitaries in the room as well that I'd like to share with you this evening, and I'm very, very happy that they could be with us tonight. We are pleased to have a number of community leaders, elected officials, and joining us today, we have our current UCS Board of Education. I'm going to ask those of you that I do acknowledge, please stand up, take an acknowledgement. You are very deserving of that. We have from our Board of Education, Dr. Mary Thomas, Board of Education President. Ms. Michelle Templeton, Treasurer from our board. Mrs. Kelly Rankin, Secretary. Dr. Stephen Meyer, Trustee. And Mrs. Michelle Fitzpatrick, Trustee. I'm going to list some other acknowledgments, and please, if I happen to miss somebody, please let me know later. I will make sure that I get to you and we make that up. But from our state of Michigan, we have State Representative Doug Wozniak, and from the Michigan Board of Education, Secretary Dr. Judy Pritchett. Please stand up. Macomb Intermediate School District Superintendent, Mr. Michael DeVault. Is Mr. DeVault here? Thank you, Mr. DeVault. Macomb County Commissioners Sylvia Grote and Donald Van Sickle. Please stand up. Thank you for being here. 41A District Court, the Honorable Anne Marie Lepore. From Shelby Township, we have Supervisor Richard Stathakis and Clerk Stanley Grote. Also from the City of Sterling Heights, we have City Manager Mark Vanderpool. We have former members of our Board of Education that I would love to acknowledge at this time. We have Becky Higbee, Steve Truman, Carl Torito, and Marietta Crabtree. Could you please stand up and be acknowledged for your great work? We thank these members for their continued support of Utica Community Schools and the relationship we have with them, and I really do appreciate that heartfeltly, because it is important to have the support of both our legislature and the members in our community. Before we honor our inaugural class, the Legacy of Excellence honorees, we would like all of you to enjoy dinner and conversation, and by the sounds of it, conversation is not going to be a problem for us tonight, and that's a wonderful thing. It is being served family style, and the servers will bring out each course to the table. We'll be back following dinner to begin the celebration, so please, what this is really about is to celebrate the wonderful conversation in the history of Utica schools. Enjoy your conversation and dinner. Thank you. Please join with me in thanking the Palazzo staff for just a wonderful dinner. Palazzo always does a wonderful, wonderful job for us, our Career Focus Luncheon and many other events for Utica Community Schools. So thank you very much, Palazzo staff. Also, I was remiss, I did not share with all of you our appreciation for Jennifer Garderet. which was the vocal music teacher from Henry Ford II High School with her performers. Let's give her a nice round of applause, thanking her. And as we are moving forward with our night to thank people and introduce people, we'd like to thank an organization that made tonight possible. UCS has had a long-standing partnership with Barton Malow that began back in the late 80s, mid-80s. As they celebrate 100 years of their company, they approached us about sponsoring an event that recognizes the partnership and the history of student success. We would like to thank publicly Barton Malow for their long partnership with UCS for sponsoring the event we are celebrating tonight, and I'd like to ask these individuals to please stand up briefly to take that nice round of applause. Mr. Michael Stoback, Vice President of Barton Malow, please stand up. Katie McGurdy, Marketing Manager, please stand up. Brent Bollinger, General Manager for UCS and projects there, and the entire Barton Malow team who supports our local school district. Many of you are in the audience. Thank you very much. Let's give them a nice round of applause for this wonderful event, the support for this event. You know, a lot of people have asked, how did we get here? How did we get here tonight? Well, over the past years, we have been hosting 50th anniversaries across the system. Many school buildings, 50. We have several school buildings that are even beyond that. But we did a large gathering of schools over these last few years that hit that wonderful age of 50 in their legacy. And what we noticed across the district, it was not the brick and mortar, no offense, Barton Malow, it was not some of the structures, but it was the wonderful conversation that was being had with many, many generations of families, learners, students, grandparents that came back to see the building, and it was just a wonderful acknowledgement of community. And as we saw many of these buildings go through that process, it was very imperative and very clear to us in central office and myself in working with our Board of Education that we needed to take this to the next level. And the next level was what you saw as a vision that started 2 to 3 years ago, and working with our partners, making this come to a reality. The theme tonight could really be, we are Utica Community Schools. Because everybody in here, over many generations and many different legacies of learning, have all contributed to this wonderful community. And you know, when I step back for a minute and I think about 2,000 graduates that leave our high schools, and they have left our high schools for well over 50 years now. Think about that for a moment. There is not a place on this planet that you would not run into a Utica Community School student. And I think for the educators in the room, the administrators in the room, our honorees, our contractors, our foundation, our Board of Education, both past and present, that is certainly something to be proud of. Very proud of. Let's give that a nice round of applause. And as we recognize this road that we've traveled, and there will be great stories tonight, those stories should be reflective of everyone's work that's in this room and beyond. We will continue to shape UCS. We will continue the stories into our future, but it is with the people tonight being recognized, that we can celebrate the work that they did. The stories about the people who are part of our schools, the challenges they faced, the risks they took to improve our schools, their selfless dedication, pride in their work, and the long nights they worked or stayed up thinking about how they can make things better for children. It was only natural for us to honor those people that began those legacies tonight. And hopefully, in the near future, we'll bring the next legacy group, and we will continue to come back and celebrate in these wonderful, wonderful traditions. So this is the first of several opportunities for our legacy recipients tonight. This evening, you will meet these honorees and hear what UCS and this award means to them and their family members. But this is the first of two celebrations. You're going to see up behind me some renderings of some things that will be happening in the very near future. After this evening, we will begin preparing what we would call our Wall of Fame. at our administrative offices, where these 13 individuals and future legacy honors will be enshrined. And if you look at the picture up front, that does not look like our Administrative Service Center right now, but it will. And if you look at this picture very closely, off to the left and down the hallways, we have begun the placards of those that are going to be honored tonight. You can also see from the rendering here, it will also recognize the great leadership that we have in this district with our Board of Education on a parallel wall. And as we continue to add, our goal would be, as we see our award winners up top, more underneath, that we will continue to fill up that wall space over time until there are no more walls, and I have to go to the board and say we need to construct more walls. I know, they know I will do that. But this is the legacy of the great work that we want to bring forward to this community, to celebrate the great things that you will do. This will be a permanent reminder of the legacy of our honorees. Serve as notice to our guests. It is the people of UCS who make our community so successful. The wall is scheduled to be built during the next school year, and we are really looking forward to that. At this time, we would like to introduce our honorees. Each honoree will be introduced by someone familiar with their legacy, and then they will be invited to say a few words. On behalf of the district, a Board of Education member, and myself will present each of them with a Crystal Award, as well as resolutions of recognition from Shelby Township, Sterling Heights, the Michigan Senate, and the City of Sterling Heights. And I want to thank them for providing those proclamations for us. One last thing, and this will not surprise anyone who has planned events in UCS, and from me. We plan in great detail. Our honorees have given their lives, and we know we will want to recognize them with a standing ovation, and I'm sure each and every one of them are going to be deserving of it. To provide consistency and overall flow, we would suggest that this comes after our honoree finishes their comments. I know this is an odd request, but anyone who's been part of the planning committee of the district will understand that only UCS will think through everything when we plan these types of events and give those standing ovations. Now, as we begin our celebration, I do want to remind our honorees, I do have to get up early, once again, tomorrow to go back to work for the district. So please make your comments pointed. I'm kidding. It's your night. It's your night to celebrate and provide that information. And I want to start tonight with a name of an individual who goes hand in hand with Utica Community Schools. He has been a mentor to me personally and is very well known to all of you. Former Superintendent, Mr. Donald Bemis.
In my career, I did lots of things. I was state superintendent for the state of Michigan, and I went on to do bond work for 20 years after that. But home and my love will always be within the confines of the Utica schools.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Donald Bemis, please welcome Marietta Crabtree.
Good evening. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces. However, one familiar face is missing. Don Bemis, who died in February. And it made me feel sad that he won't be here tonight. But then I thought, maybe he is, so that if sometime during the night you feel a gentle hug, or behind your chair a pair of hands on your shoulder, Don is here. When I received the email requesting a nomination for the Legacy of Excellence Award, my first thought was Donald Bemis. because I believe the excellence of Utica Community Schools today is being built on the strong foundation of excellence created under the leadership of Donald Bemis. Donald Bemis served as the UCS Superintendent of Schools for 18 years and helped open over 20 schools before becoming the Superintendent of Public Education for the state of Michigan. Sterling Junior High was renamed Bemis Junior High in the 1980s to honor the work of Don Bemis. Now tonight, accepting the Legacy of Excellence Award on behalf of Don, please welcome his daughter, Jennifer Bemis Blathers.
Unlike my father, this will be very short. Thank you to the Board of Education. Thank you to Dr. Monroe. Thank you to Jennifer and Tim for putting this together. I'm a proud graduate of Utica High School. The band was sensational. We loved them. My dad would be humbled. Sorry. Honored. He was sensitive, like me. He had integrity. He loved all of you. He loved working in Utica schools. And he would be so proud to know that Marietta was gracious in honoring him with such a great award. We're all teachers. Doesn't matter how old we are, how young we are. And it's important for us to remember, my dad always said, people will follow you if you are good, you're kind, you're caring, you're loving, and always remember someone's name. So I look at Mike Stoback, who I haven't seen in 30 years, but he's still here, and he just would be so honored. Thank you so much for being here and all your kind words. Done.
I worked for the Utica Community Schools for over 31 years, and it truly was a dream come true. It was the only school district that I ever applied to because I just felt that strongly about wanting to be a part of this amazing district. And to date, I have never regretted that decision. I was a graduate from the district, and I was eager to give back to the amazing district that had given me so much.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Sharon Coyle, please welcome Julie Lambert.
As Duncan Elementary School's first principal, Sharon Coyle collaborated with Richard J. Duncan, the school's namesake, the Duncan family, Duncan Elementary staff, and the families. Sharing in the vision of Utica Community Schools, together they created a community that respected children, believed in their abilities, and helped them grow into successful citizens who, most importantly, knew that they were loved and cared for. Through her guidance and inspiration, Duncan Elementary has continued to follow this vision 22 years after its opening. Please welcome to the stage Legacy of Excellence Award honoree, Sharon Coyle.
goodness, what a beautiful tribute that was to Mr. Bemis. He certainly was one of the pillars of our community, and his contributions and his hard work and dedication really were the foundation of the stability and the amazing reputation that this school district has. So I'm incredibly proud to be here with his family tonight to honor this great, the legacy of excellence that he's receiving. And I'm also incredibly honored to be here with the 12 other recipients. I had the distinct honor of knowing almost all of you, working for most of you, working with most of you, and let me tell you, I was continually inspired, and I learned so much from all of you. You were a big part of the reason why I pursued education and why I went into administration. So I thank you. Congratulations to each of you, and congratulations to your families. I would just like to say thank you from the very bottom of my heart. Thank you. I am so deeply humbled to be here in the presence of individuals that I love, that I admire, and that I respect more than my words could ever tell you. I have missed all of you, and seeing your faces today, hearing your voices, seeing your smiles has just filled my very soul up with so much joy. I love all of you. When I was young, I knew that there was something incredibly special about the Utica Community Schools because my parents were determined that all 5 of their children would be educated in this school district. When I graduated from high school, I had a much better idea as to why that was so important and why they worked so hard to make that happen. Didn't take much. When I graduated from college, I knew exactly where I wanted to be. And when I received that call that I would be placed in an elementary building in the fall, it literally was a dream come true. And let me be perfectly honest with you, I was joyfully content in my classroom. I absolutely loved teaching, and that is where I saw myself fulfilling my career. But God had other plans for me, and I've always wanted to be a faithful servant. When I think about the experience at Duncan, when I think about what I witnessed, what I think about what I saw and what I was a part of every single day, it was so phenomenal, so dynamic, so outstanding, so wonderful. It was so great because it truly was a gift from God. I am so thankful. I'm eternally grateful to every single individual that joined me on that journey. You were a blessing to me beyond measure. And I have to be perfectly honest with you, the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing about Duncan Elementary is that it truly was not about one person's success, not about one person's accolades. The beautiful thing about Duncan is it was about a community of people that were passionate and loved children and were devoted to their success. And by people, I mean everyone. It was my teaching staff, it was my support staff, it was my specialist staff, it was my office staff, my custodians, the bus drivers, the lunch mothers, my parent group, amazing parent group, and a DECO board, and it was my students. My students were devoted to ensuring that every child around them had the best education possible. We as a community were committed to creating an educational environment that our students would thrive in. We wanted, and it was imperative, that every child every day felt loved, that they felt special, that they felt important, and that they knew that they were successful. Our collective efforts saw every aspect of the school day through the eyes of a child. And let me tell you, that Duncan staff every single day said, Sharon, we need to do this. Sharon, we need to do that. Because they were devoted to making sure everything was just right for every child. We had big dreams for each student. We envisioned them in their futures. We envisioned them in their brilliant futures, using their skills and their talents on behalf of us, on behalf of the world. What a blessing. What an amazing group of students. You have no idea how much you've touched our lives. And and how much joy you've brought us. I have never been in a community that cares more for students than the Duncan staff and the Duncan community. There is literally no one else like you. And that's why tonight, sorry, Mr. Monroe, but I have to break one rule. That's why tonight, this legacy of excellence is not about one person. This legacy of excellence is about you, my community. So I am going to quickly ask my teachers, my support staff, my students, my parents at Duncan Elementary, please stand up and let me recognize you. Please stand up. Let me recognize you and honor you tonight. I'm so proud of all of you, and I love you all. The legacy of excellence is embedded deep within the Duncan community. You are exceptional. You continue to be my heroes. I miss being there with you. I could have worked another decade. You might have been ready to get rid of me by then, but I could have worked another decade with all of you. I think about you every day. I close my eyes. I visualize walking through your classrooms and seeing that magic happen in your classrooms every day, because it was that. And I pray for your safety. I pray that you have tremendous success with every student in your classroom. I pray that that joy that I saw in your hearts every day when you were passionately working with children or having discussions about children remains in your hearts. And I pray that you continue to take care of one another, that you continue to help one another, that you continue to humble yourself as I always saw you, to learn from one another. Because let me tell you, when you do that as a staff, you are unstoppable. You are Duncan, and once you're an explorer, you're always an explorer. I'm very proud of all of you. And to my Utica families, we all know that the Utica Community Schools is the result of years of hard work and determination and an unwavering commitment to just the very highest standards. It is truly the collective achievements of countless individuals who have strived to make a lasting impact and who have so selflessly given for the betterment of our district. And there's so many of you in this audience tonight. It is about a culture that values and pursues excellence in all aspects of education. I can say that I was a witness to this during my entire career. I was blessed beyond measure by the greatness within this district. There certainly are individuals, when I think back about it, that were my inspiration, that the integrity and the loyalty and the love that I saw pulled me into administration. I think of Randy Eckhart, who worked in this district with such determination and integrity. And when something needed to be done, you knew that he was going to be the person that would stand behind it. He was encouraging, and I probably wouldn't have gone into administration without him. I think of Dr. Joan Sargent, who led with such grace and determination. A wonderful person. Dr. Sargent and our amazing Board of Education and our administrators so gracefully and so respectfully led this district through some incredibly difficult times. These were examples that pulled me right in. I wanted to be a part of the greatness that I saw every day, and I'm so thankful. And to date, our superintendent of schools, Mr. Monroe, a dynamic leader. He models excellence, and he leads by example. He is definitely leading our district into the next level of exceptional legacy, and I'm proud to have worked for him. Retirement is good. I didn't say great. I said it's good. Because at table 36, I have some pretty important people that my mother, who I love, my two sisters who I adore and love, the love of my life, my husband, friends. I actually get to sit down and have dinner once in a while and finish a conversation. So from that standpoint, it's good. But I miss my Utica family tremendously. I think about you every day, and I'm so grateful for everything that I received. I received far more than I ever gave. So thank you for your time. I'm sure I overtalked, and I do apologize for that, but I love all of you.
Thank you for all you've done.
An award such as this, anything that says legacy, certainly has meaning because it implies things that we've done, actions we've taken, our involvement with others. And I think everyone would say who works in a school at whatever level that we have the opportunity to impact the lives of others.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Lillian Demas, please welcome Lori Singleton.
Good evening. I am Lori Singleton, the proud principal of Henry Ford II High School. We also have a saying with the Ford family, is that once a falcon, always a falcon. And Lillian Demas embodies this very saying. As she began her career at Henry Ford II High School as an English teacher, and concluded her career at Utica Community Schools as principal of Henry Ford II. In addition to her work at Ford, Lillian Demas was a trailblazer and in her field as the first female principal at each school she served, including Jeanette Junior High, Armada High School, and the International Academy of Macomb. Her devotion to education continued beyond Utica Community Schools by working with the Macomb Intermediate School District and serving as the Macomb County representative on the board of directors for the Detroit Institute of the Arts. Welcome to the stage, accepting her Legacy of Excellence Award, my friend Lillian Demas.
Well, good evening and thank you. Thank you. I have so many thank yous to say. I can't possibly say them all, so I'm going to piggyback on everything that Sharon said. Okay? And that all refers to all the schools that I've been involved with, Jeanette and Henry Ford II. Thank you very much to this excellent Board of Education. Thank you to the Selection Committee. Thank you to all my fellow honorees. Congratulations. And as I look around this room, I know that there are so many people that deserve this type of recognition. I hope I live long enough to write enough recommendations to get quite a few more people up here. And I have to give a very special thanks to Lori Singleton. Lori Singleton, as principal of Henry Ford High School, last year we celebrated the 50th anniversary. And Lori allowed me and a group of fellow administrators and teachers who had been to Ford to assist. And her staff welcomed us. And the opportunity to walk back into Ford High School, to visit with teachers, students, and see the programs and be so reassured as always how wonderfully well all of our schools are doing. We have so much to be proud of and the wonderful community that we serve. I want to thank everyone who's here this evening. Thank you for coming. Thank you for celebrating all the wonderful things that take place. Thank you for being such a wonderful community. And then a very, very special thank you goes to a young man who 24 years ago left another district to come to Ford. And that young man came to Jeanette Junior High School as my associate principal. 3 years later, I left on my first retirement, And he became principal of Henry Ford. And now he's our superintendent. Oh, I cannot tell you how proud we are of him. We're so happy that the Board of Education appointed him. He treasures legacy. He will continue to build on the wonderful legacy of this school district. And then very seldom do we have the opportunity to thank certain key people in our lives, and I'm going to take this opportunity to thank the very key people in my life. My husband, Dr. Constantine Demas, better known as Gus, who has worked in public education at the community college level for so many years, and now is just completing 20 years on the Romeo School Board. Our wonderful sons, John and Jim, of whom we are very proud. They were raised with all the educational philosophy possible and did a lot of eye rolling that continues to this day. We have a lovely daughter-in-law who's a second grade teacher, Darcy. And as all grandparents know, all grandchildren are exceptional, and ours are too. They too are dealing with the educational philosophy, but they're kind enough not to roll their eyes. So I'm very appreciative of all of them and can't help but enjoying the opportunity to introduce them to everyone that I know. I am deeply honored. It's been a privilege and it's been a blessing to work in this wonderful district with these wonderful people and in this wonderful community. When I retired that first time, the tradition was to give gifts from the various departments at the board office. I received one of the gifts from the curriculum department, and it's 2 bookends, wooden bookends. And there's an engraving there that I think speaks to everything that we do, and it is so instrumental in what teachers, students, staffs, and the entire communities believe. And it is a quote by Helen Keller, who says, "When we do the very best we can do, we never know what miracle we may experience in our life and the miracle in the lives of others." Well, there are miracles all over the place, and many of them are right here in this room. Thank you so very, very much.
To me, when I look at those young people going into our community and the positive role that they can have, and anything that I may have done to incentivize or to assist them in achieving those goals, this is an award that really, for me, confirms that I did my role to help create better citizens for our community at large. That I made the right choice to go into teaching.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Stephen Domke, please welcome Nate Domke.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Nate Domke, and I'm a teacher at Davis Junior High. Stephen Domke brought a student-centered approach to teaching advanced placement courses at Eisenhower High School, Utica High School, and actually introduced the very first AP course at Stevenson High School a very long time ago. His commitment, compassion, and enthusiasm helped him gain recognition as the Macomb County Teacher of the Year, the Michigan Council of the Social Studies Teacher of the Year, Outstanding Teacher by WDIV and Newsweek, and the UCS Outstanding AP Teacher. Outside of the classroom, Stephen Domke coached high school softball, Citizen Bee, and Quiz Bowl, while also being active in the Utica Education Association. In his retirement, he continues proctoring AP exams, moderating Quiz Bowl, participating in living history programs, and serving his community at Romeo United Methodist Church. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce and welcome Stephen Domke to accept his Legacy of Excellence Award. Thank you.
Those who do not learn history are destined to repeat it. Understand politics or be governed by those who do. Social studies creates effective citizens. These three statements best characterize why I taught history and government for 40 years. The goal of giving back to all the young adults we were privileged to teach motivated me to teach with a passion and a love for the subjects that I taught. From world history to advanced placement comparative government and politics, from cultural anthropology to Michigan history, from AP U.S. history to contemporary issues class, from international relations to advanced placement U.S. government and politics. Every day was a new chance to open eyes to different points of view and to teach about those great men, women, and events that contributed towards developing our country, our community, and our world. This privilege to work with young adults was given to me by Utica Community Schools. It was a joy to teach at Eisenhower, Stevenson, and Utica High, where I interacted with over 8,000 students in my years. I want to thank UCS for the opportunity to mentor, to coach, to motivate, and to befriend so many over 4 decades. I loved every day, and I want to thank our current Board of Education, Superintendent Monroe, and the Legacy of Excellence Committee for this honor of being recognized for whatever impact, big or small, I had on the students of our community. I personally want to thank my son Nate for nominating me, and for my wife Nancy for all her advice in guiding me through this process. She has great advice, and I have learned to listen to it. My teaching goals were never just about knowing and understanding academic content. We teachers taught skills, note-taking skills, essay writing skills, evaluating sources, test-taking skills, class discussion, and most crucial to me, critical thinking skills. My students were asked to evaluate historical figures, to interpret the meaning of historical documents, to summarize an issue of the Times, to examine a different point of view, to determine cause and effect. In short, they were asked to critically analyze information, always using evidence to support their conclusions. Interactive class discussions were a daily occurrence as we worked together to both learn and share between us ideas. Students having confidence in their ability to engage in dialogue while internally thinking about that day's topic was a priority to me. An academic class, it's got to be relevant in order to engage a teenager in that class. I used teachable moments from everyday life and from current events to connect my students to the topic at hand. For example, I started my U.S. government classes each year with a quiz on day 1. 25 questions taken directly from the U.S. Naturalized Citizenship exam. That was an awakening. This was the beginning of making a required government course relevant to teenagers. We then built from there. I started my career with chalkboards and encyclopedias, I remember those, and finished with PowerPoint presentations and internet research. Yes, teaching strategies must change with the technologies available to best reach students. Having a personal relationship with every one of my students was also a great priority. Creating an atmosphere of caring, sharing my personal stories, using humor to make them comfortable, asking about their lives, their teams, their interests. I worked to make my classroom a place where my teenagers could look forward to joining in every day. Building these interpersonal connections enables teachers to reach students. A caring mentor creates caring students. Write that one down. Also, because I cared, I gave back to our district. I joined curriculum committees, eventually chairing the secondary, then the central, and then the central leadership curriculum committee. I coached girls' fast-pitch softball sports teams, academic teams like Quiz Bowl, Social Studies Olympics, and Citizen Bee, and became the Social Studies system-wide chair for the district, was chosen as our first full-time released social studies consultant, teaching teachers K through 12, teachers this time, across the district for 3 years about social studies standards and how to help them reach them. I became active in the Michigan Education Association at the local building rep level, at the state level, and was even blessed to be part of a UEA contract negotiating team. I thought it important to be involved in our profession beyond the classroom. My highest priority goal, as I said earlier, was to lead students to examine past history and to understand current political systems. I wanted each of them to grow into effective, thinking, caring citizens of our country and our world. Being a teacher, next to my family, was the most important thing in my life. I believe I had a career that was socially relevant. I taught teens concepts and skills that could be applied to their adult decision-making lives, and in so doing, be better citizens. Thank you all again for believing me worthy of this award. Thank you very much.
I wanted to give back to the community, and so I saw this opportunity as one in which I could give back some of the support that I actually received from my teachers, from my professors, from my editors on the college newspaper, working with teachers, working with the administrative staff, working with the community at large was the most enjoyable and meaningful job of every step along the way in my life.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Cass Franks, please welcome Donald Naraki.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. It's my privilege and honor to introduce to you one of my personal heroes, Mr. Cass Franks. Excuse my scratchy voice. Cass Franks worked behind the scenes to help put Utica Community Schools on the map during a time of unparalleled growth as the administrative assistant for school community relations. His commitment to transparency, innovative use of school communications, and tireless energy built trust with the community and established UCS as a leader in educational excellence. Under his direction, UCS was recognized by the National School Public Relations Association as one of the nation's top 3 school districts for its public relations program. Please join me in welcoming to the stage one of my personal heroes, Legacy of Excellence Award honoree, Mr. Cass Franks.
Oh, thank you. Okay. I want to begin by thanking the Board of Education, the superintendent, and everybody in the PR department who was involved in putting this program together. I'm just so delighted to see that the good people that I worked with for years, over 2 decades in the Utica schools, are being honored for the work that they did. When I began here with the Utica Community Schools in 1968, things were a little shaky. Every one of our students in the district had been on half days of school. Morale among the staff was low, and so was community support for the funding needed for the programs that we offered. I had worked for 2 local newspapers in the area and also had done some public relations work. And during a strike that lasted 10 months, in which I wanted to keep my first wife, my first house, and my first kid happy, so I decided to get another job, and fortunately, the Utica schools called me. I was very, very lucky. I didn't know it at the time, but I was very, very lucky that I worked for 2 outstanding superintendents. One was a guy named Philip Runkel, who hired me, and then Don Bemis, who I worked for 18 years. His record has been already reviewed by someone else. They were both exceptional. As a matter of fact, both of them later became state superintendents for all of Michigan. Not only that, I had a great staff of administrators. It's no surprise to me that 6 of the 13 people who are honored here today were working in the Utica schools when I was there 32 years ago. Their work is still treasured and remembered with this banquet and award ceremony today. When I came to work for the school district, I really early recognized that the staff was not getting the credit they deserve for the good work they were doing in the classrooms, nor were the bus drivers, nor were the custodians. So I created a booklet called Getting Out the Good News. It included a fill-in form that employees could report what they thought was good about what they were doing, and I took that form, converted it into a story in our weekly staff news newsletter that went to every employee. I also sent it out to the media. It wasn't that much longer that Macomb Daily Reporter kind of complained to me. He said that while we had about 30% of the student enrollment in the county, we were getting 60% of their news coverage in the Macomb Daily. I never complained. So, in addition to that, since we were citizen funded, I thought it was important that we have more community involvement in our future planning. So I began doing local public opinion surveys. I modeled the Gallup poll every year, easily came up with volunteers who agreed to be taught how to do surveys, and so we started doing them. And we also did surveys of our community leaders every year at a gathering, something like this. So we heard from them. And we also began citizens advisory committees of 300 to 700 people who were invited to look at our plans and tell us what they thought about them. Well, as a consequence, at the same time, well, first of all, at the same time, we were building we were adding a classroom full of students every week in our district. So in the time I was there, we added 20 schools to the district, all of them tax supported, all of them approved by the community, and as far as I know, there hasn't been a bond issue that's been lost in this district for over 50 years. I think that's really remarkable. The average in America is that 50% of tax proposals for schools are approved the first time. 50%. Now, not only did we get good advice on what to do with our schools, we got great advice on new programs to add. And the Board of Education was informed about the survey results all the time. They sensed they knew what the community wanted, and they approved them. For example, we had the state's largest preschool program. We had 65% of students under 5 years old getting a head start in school at all of our buildings. And so this went on for all the years that I was here in the Utica schools. There's much more I could say. There's many more people I could introduce that are here today who helped shape the current and future programs of the district, including the 6 people I mentioned who were already working in the district when I came to it. So in 1982, as it was mentioned, we entered a contest, the first of an annual contest, to pick the top school public relation programs in the country, and our district was selected as among the top 3. There wasn't a 1, 2, 3. There were 3 top districts. The others were Dallas and the Arlington schools just south of Washington, D.C. It was a great honor. I was really excited about it. And I have to say, though, that this award is the best, most prestigious thing that I think has happened to me in terms of my work. I know. But the thing that brings the most joy to me is that I, in whatever way I could, help boost morale, help advance involvement, help get public support for the education of 45,000 kids while I was there. I helped get them get a head start on their life. However, I think that's enough. I just want to conclude by singing 2 stanzas from favorite songs of mine that summarize why I love the Utica schools, the 3 kids that I got educated there, the 3 grandkids that I got educated there, the daughter-in-law I have who was the teacher of the year in the Utica schools last year, and her daughter who's in her 2nd year of teaching right now in a nearby school district. Here's the stanzas. I had the time of my life. And the other one is, so long, it's been great to know all of you. Thank you.
I think that the district, recognizes sometimes people that don't get recognized all the time. I just came in and swept up and cleaned up and took care of the building. I never thought that I was somebody that they were going to recognize one day, but here I am.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Bill Harris, please welcome Susan Frischman.
This is so exciting. I love this. Growing up in UCS, Bill Harris recognized the importance behind the work of every staff member and the positive impact they can have on students. As junior high head custodian, Bill Harris brought a sense of pride and dedication to his job that was unforgettable by the staff, students, and families who were fortunate enough to make a connection with him. Bill Harris was an inspiration for the school community. He was someone you could trust and who genuinely cared about his schools. Please join me in welcoming Legacy of Excellence honoree, my brother-in-law, Bill Harris.
I'm going to make this fairly short. I didn't think I would be ever recognized for anything I did in life, but I was lucky enough to get a job with Utica Community Schools. I started, like everybody else does, subbing. And I can remember the first night I worked at Stevenson High School, and frankly, a pool locker room is not a nice place. Then I went on to sub at a lot of other buildings and finally got full-time at Epler Junior High. And Epler was a different place. It had the board meetings there every other week. And I got to meet Don Bemis, Dick LeBaire, Jim King, and these guys were super. Over the years, Don Bemis, whenever I would run into him, he would say, "Hey, Bill, how you doing?" Never ever, "Hey, how you doing?" He always used your name, and just a great guy. And sorry to see him go. Later on, I got lucky enough to get over to Davis, and I spent 10 years with Martin and Lewis, Dick Mann and Rich Pearson, who are here, and great guys. I had special teachers at Davis, and I have Elaine Yeager, who is one of them. She was a special ed teacher, and just a wonderful, wonderful person. I also worked with a lot of other principals, teachers, everybody. And one of the assistant principals over there was Linda Hall. Now, Linda was a great, great person. I ended up working with her at Heritage for 9 out of 10 years at Heritage. And she took a person and she treated you like a person. That she didn't take you and talk down to you. She talked up to you. She said what she wanted, what she needed, and she was fair. And then finished out my last 2 years at Davis, which I loved Davis. And a lot of people say, "You're just a janitor." But you know what? I loved being just a janitor, a head custodian. People really, really treated you well as this individual at what I did. And I'd like to thank Mr. Monroe and the Board of Education for this privilege. And thank you very much, everybody.
You're welcome. You did a great job.
The administration, the staff, the teachers, and the Board of Education have never lost focus on what's important. and that is educating students in the district. The child-focused approach to education here has sustained for years, and I think that makes it very, very special. To be recognized as somebody that helped contribute to that history and helped to sustain the excellence in the school district, it just makes me feel very special, and I so appreciate it.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Dr. Carol Klenow, please welcome Michelle Templeton.
Good evening. Dr. Carol Klenow led collaborative decision-making efforts by the elected Board of Education during a period of program and district expansion. Serving on the board for 23 years and 21 as president, Dr. Klenow's leadership helped UCS become the second largest school district in Michigan through voter-approved bond issues that addressed enrollment changes. Beyond the UCS Board of Education, Dr. Klenow has also championed education through her work at Oakland Schools and with the Community Telecommunications Network at Wayne State University. Please welcome to the stage Legacy of Excellence Award honoree, Dr. Carol Klenow.
Okay, it is really great to be here. I've had so much fun connecting with people I haven't seen in a very long time. And best of all, for the first time in my history with Utica schools, I can address the community as a civilian. So to begin, I would like to thank the Board of Education and the selection committee for honoring me tonight. I'd also like to give great thanks to the team that put this event together. As Mr. Monroe said, nobody does it like Utica Community Schools. This is such a great place, especially for events. And yes, Mr. Monroe, I want to thank you. Bob was hired when I was on the school board, and I am so proud that he is now this district superintendent. I know he's doing a great job. I do have to say, when he was commenting, he does have to go to work tomorrow, I almost felt he was looking right at me, and I thought for a moment he was going to say, keep your comments short, and for you, Klenow, 3 minutes. That's all you get. That's a board joke. But anyway, ever since I was notified about this reward, I had just been thinking about this district and just thinking about how remarkable it is that over these many years, the district has been able to maintain this very special culture, a culture that helps people rise to their very best, a culture that keeps excellence at the forefront. And truly, I am proud to just have made one small contribution. There are many people here that have made other contributions. The thing that I know, and I think we all know, is this school district would not be what it is today without generations, and you heard that, dads and sons still working in the district, generations of dedicated employees, super involved parents, and that's another thing, nobody does it like Utica parents, and then finally, constant support from community members. And the great thing about it is they're all focused on one thing, giving kids a great education, and that is how it always has been, and I'm sure that's how it always will be in Utica schools. As I look around tonight, I see many people who have dedicated time and talent to this district. But what's really cool is I also see a new generation of people in this crowd who is stepping up to play its part to ensure the district's legacy of excellence continues. And you, that new generation, I encourage you to continue doing that work. I assure you that is time well spent. And I can honestly say there's no better feeling than knowing you made a real difference for students, for families, and in your own community. So once again, thank you for recognizing me tonight. I want to give a shout out to my husband, Blaze, at Table 22, there he is, who actually, kind of helped along the journey of my Utica Schools experience. And again, I'm going to encourage everyone to continue to working together to sustain the legacy of excellence. It's a legacy that we all know values student achievement and student success. Let's keep up the good work. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dan Wesner. I am humbled to be here to speak in front of the 13 people we are honoring tonight and an audience with so much UCS history. I've been a part of this community for more than 60 years. A student, a parent, a business owner, and a proud member of the Utica Community School Foundation, where I am honored to work with great people that bring us things like the Chelsea Bemis Teacher Mini Grants, the career-focused luncheon for all of our sixth graders, and to support the funding of the Superintendent's Scholarship that our district gives to seniors each and every year. All done with the dedicated volunteers that truly believe in students and teachers of this district. In those 60 years, I have seen a lot of change, but there are some things that have never changed in this district. The people who make up UCS and make it so special. The teachers that I still to this day think about, even when I said to them, I'm never going to use this in life. Boy, was I wrong. The administrators and superintendents that I only knew when I became a parent. How did I realize how important you all are to making this all work? Coaches that teach more about life than a sport. The office help, the custodians, the entire staff at each and every one of our buildings. Their dedication and commitment to kids is as true today as it was in 1966 when my parents enrolled me at Schwarzkopf Elementary. And is why UCS is so much more than just 3 initials. To the honorees, I say congratulations and thank you so much. You have built the foundation that this district stands on today. Through your service, actions, and accomplishments, you inspire us all. For the rest of us in the room, we should consider the lives of these nominees and ask ourselves, what will be our legacy? What can we do to make our community a better place for students today and future generations? I thank you all and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Please know that it's been one of my life's blessings to have worked on this board and previous boards for Utica Community Schools. I was able to be mentored by many great board members that were here long before me, and I was able to sit in this chair knowing, like those before me, no decisions were ever made, ever, that were not about what was truly best for our students. It was a service to our students and being a voice for our students that I am most proud of. I am confident the new board members will continue with the legacy set out many years, many boards, and many superintendents ago. You make every decision, and you advocate for every student like they were your own. It isn't one child or your own children, but you have thousands and thousands of students, and you advocate for those students each and every day that you're here on the board.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Jean L. Klida, please welcome Dr. Mary Thomas.
Good evening. Jean L. Klida saw her role as a mentor to others within the community as her most honored achievement. She worked tirelessly during her 20 years on the Board of Education, including her 2 years as president, and through her involvement with the UCS Foundation for Educational Excellence to ensure students of all kinds and needs had every opportunity to succeed and that all UCS staff were supported in their work. Her work was celebrated through the renaming of Utica Community Schools International Baccalaureate Program in 2021 to be known and remembered as the Jean L. Klida Utica Academy for International Studies. Accepting the Legacy of Excellence Award on behalf of Jean, please welcome her husband, Dr. David Klida.
Friends and supporters of public education, good evening. Thank you so much for this incredible honor. On behalf of my beloved wife, I humbly accept this Legacy of Excellence Award. Standing here today, I feel the weight of her absence more than ever, but I also feel her presence in the room, as I know that she would be deeply moved by this recognition. Being on the Board of Education for Utica Community Schools was more than just a position for her. It was a community, a family that she poured her heart and soul into every day. She always believed in the potential of the students, her colleagues, and the power of public education to transform lives. She was passionate, dedicated, and tireless in her pursuit of a difference, never seeking recognition for herself, but always striving to lift up others. She believed in the importance of kindness, compassion, and hard work, values she instilled in those around her. While she is not physically here to accept this award, I know that she would be grateful and proud to be remembered in this way. This award represents not just her individual contributions, but the countless lives she touched and the legacy she leaves behind. Thank you to Utica Community Schools for the recognition and for continuing to honor her memory. Her spirit lives on in each of us, in every lesson she taught us, and the impact she made. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much.
I am very proud of the foundation's work, first of all, and I have been also involved in so many different committees for the benefit of enriching the students' education. When you come together for the benefit of enriching the education and ensuring that the values that we have for success in the collaboration, innovation, and community engagement is essential for the benefit of the success of our school district.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Ray Lope, please welcome Tom Leitz.
Ray Lope possesses an intrinsic sense of responsibility to students and to the betterment of their opportunities into the world. As a founding member of the Utica Community Schools Foundation for Educational Excellence, who has held the role of president twice, Ray Lope has impacted thousands of UCS students, staff, and teachers throughout the history of the organization. His support for Utica Community Schools is unwavering. Embodying what it means to be a selfless community leader, Ray has inspired generations of service innovators. To accept his Legacy of Excellence Award, please welcome to the stage Ray Lope.
It's a deep honor and a deep sense of humility when you get up in front of all the educators that you have had the opportunity to meet for so many years. I personally became involved because I had been asked, what brought you to this area and what brought you your involvement into the Utica Community School System? Personally, I met one of the administrators by the name of Barney Swinehart. He asked me if I would be able to help out with the YMCA Northwest Macomb basketball program. I'm dating myself. Some of you were there as coaches, administrators, and that's when I began to get involved with Utica. My first job was given to me by Barney, and I swept the gym floor And after the bleachers were closed, he came back and said, now pick up the garbage and sweep that area. After that, I became involved with about 2 or 3 other administrators. One of them, I did not really recognize Don Bemis. Don Bemis came up and he says, who are you? And I said, I'm Ray Lope. I said, where do you live? I said, Sterling Heights. What do you do? I said, well, my family, the Sullivan family, and myself are the co-owners of the Sullivan Funeral Home. He says, is this why you're wearing your white shirt, dress pants, and dress shoes when you're here working at the gymnasium, cleaning the floor and closing the bleachers? I said, yes, Don, that's me. He called me later on and he said, I want to know a little bit about the foundation that you were founding, which is the Gerald C. Friend Memorial Trust Fund, which we founded after a friend of ours died. Great coach, in my opinion, basketball coach, but a wonderful guy that gave of himself for the benefit of others. And he said, what have you done in that foundation to be able to bring money in? And I said, well, Don, this is what we have done. And he said, okay. He called me back and he said, would you be available to come to a meeting? And I said, okay. The meeting consisted of 6 other people. The 7 of us founded then the Utica Community School Foundation for Educational Excellence. One question, I was in my late 20s, and I asked the question, the others did not. I said, Don, how much money do we have from the Board of Education to fund this foundation? He says, 0, Ray. And I think I knew my answer, and everyone did not say a word. Later on, we came back and we said, how are we going to do it? We started with Century Club membership. We started with Up With People. Some of you may remember. We didn't make any money. And then finally, we came across with all of the Utica Community Schools Foundation for Excellence Board administrators, and we come up with a career-focused luncheon. That particular career-focused luncheon, today, I'm able to tell you after 30 years, I believe that we have touched the lives of over 60,000 6th graders from the Utica Community School System. The Jerry Friend Memorial Trust Fund Scholarship that we also founded, and the administrators here that I have looked for many years to be able to get involved in the funding of the Gerald C. Friend Memorial Fund, also contributed over $700,000 for kids in our community on scholarships. And that is the answer that some of you may be wondering. What is Ray Lope why is he being recognized? I am not the person, but the Utica Community Schools Foundation for Educational Excellence is the combination of people that have been able to achieve so much for the benefit of the educators, the students, and the community, and that is the reason that I feel that I belong with the Utica Community School System. It's been a rewarding career in the sense of being involved. I am involved, and I still want to be able to thank Dr. Monroe, the Board of Education, the educators, administrators that I worked with, and I had fun with because they were a great team to be with. And thank you to all of you, the selection committee, recognizing an outsider. I am an outsider. I'm not an educator. But thank you so much for giving me this great honor that I have been part of now with the 12 other folks that received this honor with me, and thank you so much.
An award like this means that it's an affirmation for me that I chose the right profession. It's never about recognition. It's always about achievement, what we can achieve for our students, for our teachers, for our community, because Utica always had an extremely high standard of excellence. We've all gone around the state or, been in different districts and so on and had the opportunity to hear people talk about Utica. It's known everywhere.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Susan Meyer, please welcome Kelly Rankin.
Good evening. Susan Meyer brought joy to her work with UCS as a secondary math teacher, associate principal at Stevenson and Henry Ford II, and principal at Stevenson High School, the first female high school principal in Utica Community Schools. In her role as Director of Secondary Education, she helped to open the district's first specialty program, the Center for Mathematics, Science, and Technology, also known as MST. Susan Meyer's enthusiasm for education continued after UCS by supporting the Macomb Intermediate School District in opening the International Academy of Macomb and the Early College of Macomb. Today, she is an educational consultant developing a joint early college program with the Ingham ISD and Lansing Community College. Please join me in welcoming me to the stage, Legacy of Excellence honoree Susan Meyer.
Kelly and I have a great connection because, thank you, Kelly, for that wonderful introduction. Her father, Chet Boss, and I were in the first mathematics department, first faculty at Henry Ford II when it opened. So that's a great connection there. Thank you, Kelly. Good evening to all of you who have been continually devoted to the Utica Community Schools over the years. I am humbled and privileged to be a member of this inaugural class of the UCS Legacy of Excellence Award, and am honored to be feted along with my fellow recipients, Don, Sharon, Lillian, Steve, Cass, Bill, Carol, Jean, Ray, Jackie, Nancy, and Bob. I think they would all agree with me that we did not dedicate our maximum efforts to UCS as a means to any individual reward, but simply out of devotion and respect for the exceptional district in which we were all blessed to work. However, we are extremely appreciative and grateful to receive this recognition. As with any worthy honor, it was not achieved alone, but with the support and many dear family members, friends, and colleagues. I would first like to thank God for leading me to this incredible district. Next, for my husband Dan, for his continuous support throughout my career and our just over 50 years of marriage. For my extended family, my brother Lanny and sister-in-law Andrika are here with me this evening. And for all of the amazing students, teachers, staff, administrators, and community members who comprise this preeminent district. This has been an amazing journey for me. Whether it was at Sterling Junior High School, Henry Ford II High School, Stevenson High School, the board office, or after UCS at the Macomb Intermediate School District. I have worked amongst wonderfully talented professionals, all of whom possessed admirable attributes, among which are high moral character and a true sense of selflessness. When thinking about this address, there are many great men and women from whom to quote. So the quote I will use, which I feel goes to the heart of the excellence engendered by the Utica Community Schools, is from a great man, my father, Ozzie Michterlein from Frankenmuth, Michigan. I want to preface this quote with a little background. My dad didn't expect me or want me to leave Frankenmuth once I had graduated from Central, but I did, and consequently interviewed for teaching jobs in the Metro Detroit area,
accepting a mathematics position in Utica in 1960. So my mom and dad had an opportunity to meet a lot of you on several occasions, possibly at our girls track team awards banquet during my first year when I was the volunteer coach at Sterling Junior High, or in Frankenmuth when the ladies from the Bridge Group, which we started in 1970 and are still together, came to my parents' house, or when you attended our wedding reception at Zender's Hotel in 1974, or when you came to my party at Stevenson when I left to go to the board office in 1997. Wherever it may have been, as a result of meeting many of my dear UCS colleagues, my father said to me, "Now I know why you love it there so much." And love it here so much we did. All of us in this room know that feeling, to love the Utica Community Schools, because that is why we are here this evening. The UCS superintendent, Robert Monroe, knows what it was like to love the UCS, and we thank you, Bob, for being a visionary leader and inviting us to this celebration. The UCS Board of Education loves UCS, and we thank you for your continuous dedication to the pursuit of student success and for always honorably representing the district. The UCS Legacy of Excellence Selection Committee loves the UCS, and my fellow honorees and I thank you for your successful efforts in the development and implementation of this initiative. All past and present UCS employees know what it is like to love the UCS and to do whatever is necessary to provide the best possible education and environment for its students. And we thank you for being the foundation of Uniquely Utica. UCS is showing its appreciation to all of us tonight who have contributed to this uniqueness. As cliche-ish as it may be, the ultimate truth is that all of you strove to make a difference every day, and be rest assured that you did. I deeply thank you for this award and will cherish it forever. And know that I, like all of you, will feel that part of my heart will always stay in the halls of the Utica Community Schools. Good night and Godspeed.
I knew from my position as mayor, I could move forward to help the district. I would say my time spent at Utica schools is something that I'm extremely proud of. I hope that I made a difference, but I know that in the long run, I got as much as I gave.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Jacqueline K. Nunan, please welcome Katie Lillido.
Good evening. I'm Katie Lillido, the daughter of Jackie Nunan and one of her 5 proud children. Jacqueline K. Nunan embodies the saying, "You can achieve anything you set your mind to." Whether working as a secondary French and social studies teacher or as the mayor of the city of Utica, Jacqueline K. Nunan has always partnered with and advocated for Utica Community Schools. Her leadership, professionalism, and service to the community at large were supported by her undeniable love of Utica. The positive impact Jacqueline K. Nunan had on the city and UCS can be seen throughout the community today. Please help me in welcoming to the stage Legacy of Excellence honoree Jacqueline K. Nunan.
I'll try to be brief. If you know me well, that's hard. Thank you to the Board of Ed, Superintendent Monroe, and Selection Committee for this extraordinary honor. I am so touched to be grouped with these outstanding honorees. I love UCS in my 50-plus years of association. As a parent, a volunteer, the mayor, a committee member, a teacher, a union rep, and a vocal supporter, I tried to do my best. From Flickinger Elementary as room mother, parent group president, library mother, picture lady co-founder with Chelsea Bemis and Claudia Jeanette, Spring Fair chair, guest speaker at the Dare Honors, you name it, I was there. For Epler Junior High and Utica High, I engaged Will Cabell's SAGE class researching and touring Utica's historic homes. After all, we're kind of unique in this giant district. Our guests at Mayor's Exchange loved touring our downtown with those 8th graders, a real highlight for them. I was active on the sounding board at both the junior high and the high school, but I encouraged NHS students, art students, all the students to join us and decorate children's faces for the Zombie Fest, clean up the Clinton River, help out at the Old Mill Arts and Crafts Festival, help with the Easter egg hunt, classic car show, everything. Plus inviting the Chieftain Marching Band, of which you heard the jazz ensemble tonight, to every Christmas tree lighting that we had in my 29 years. I was proud to have Student Government Day for Utica High kids to come in and take over city jobs so they understood how the cop shop ran, the DPW. Where does the water go when you flush the toilet? It's important for people to know these things. After all, we partnered with our neighbors, and we as Shelby Township, we're doing Student Government Day. Want to join us? Well, of course they did. And before you knew it, we were doing Kids from Utica High at both communities and sharing a wonderful lunch with members of the board and the superintendent at the end of the day. The 3rd graders from Wiley visited us every year. I did the career-focused luncheon and loved every minute of it. I delivered back before I became a Utica teacher the Don't Drink and Drive program for 2nd through 12th grade. 2nd through 12th grade. I wanted children to understand that you don't get in a car with an inebriated, oh, they didn't know what that word meant, with a drunk. You don't get in the car when somebody's drunk. It's not real safe. So in the 1980s, my multimedia program with Huey Lewis and the News blasting, and my video and my puppets, and my weird sense of humor, those of you who know me will understand. I did that for 4 years for the Macomb Traffic Safety Association. But when I got hired at Mallow, I decided that besides teaching history or civics and French, we'd do just everything we could to make life interesting and fun. Went to Toronto 5 times with my French students and asked for a hotel where only we had French-speaking people to deal with and the restaurants. And then we went to see Phantom of the Opera. It was a wonderful weekend. 2 days in Toronto in a bilingual country right next door. At Eisenhower, we did 4 trips to France, 3 of which we tucked in London and Rome. Not a bad idea. I helped organize and partner with our neighboring communities and the school district for the 175th and 200th anniversary of my tiny city. A major focus of mine forever was the quality of life and placemaking, the most precious resource that the school system has and my city had were its people. Everything is about the people. As a result, we partnered definitely with Shelby Township and Sterling Heights. After all, when you're the little guys and no money, you turn to your big brother neighbors and you ask them for every favor you can possibly think of. And they came across big time. We shared resources. We planned things. Definitely, in my time as mayor, the first major program that we did involved Utica schools. You see, the oldest site in the district is Epler Junior High, and the street in front of it hadn't been touched in 50 years. As we dug it up to do a $700,000, slightly rather expensive road project in front of it, we found wooden bowling balls, wooden pipes. Oh my God, the warehouse and Epler deserved better, and they got our first big road project. After all, it's the only school in the district where the kids get picked up and dropped off on a school street, right on a school street, not inside an area owned by the school system. So we tried very hard to make it the safest place that it could possibly be for those students, because after all, my 5 kids were going there. I have a selfish interest for everything I do, only it's usually representing the people that I represent. Creating a downtown development authority was essential, and as we engaged our neighbors, Sterling Heights and Shelby Township, we had many, many meetings. We had joint meetings, we had argumentative meetings, we had program meetings. We did everything. In many areas, the largest of which was attracting new business. We wanted to make it a good, sound tax base. Well, guess who benefits from that? The school system and local government. We widened M59. We got Van Dyke improved. Traffic, buses, physical plants were always a focus. And one of our biggest partners was the Chamber of Commerce and the faith communities. We had all of these wonderful churches, and we tried to involve them wherever we could. We also had to deal with the upper levels of government called the county and the state of Michigan. Oh, and the feds. By the way, I really love the feds, because when we dealt with the state, we just kept reminding them how they're shortchanging local government and the school systems. Give us our money, we kept telling them. We now have the Iron Bell Trail because Senator Stabenow put it in the federal government in budget, and we, just as Sander Levin had done with the improvements to Van Dyke a whole decade earlier. You see, it's important to me to make acquaintance with everyone and anyone, well, sort of from the president on down through the governors and everyone around that can make the path to our finishing our projects and doing what we need to do for our community and our school system to make it happen. And you do that by making connections. I tried to serve my constituents in the city like I did my students, with love, caring, and intelligence. I personally knew most of the superintendents. Phil Runkle lived half a block away when I moved in on Custer Street. He lived on Hecker. I also have known all of them since then, from up to Christine Johns. And I also had some familiar names like Jim King and Cass Franks and Dr. Shell and, oh, that's right, Mike DeVault. He mentioned us at a SEMCOG meeting one day. I was so honored, I about fell off my chair. Problem solving, like teaching, takes lots and lots of knowledge, research, and active communication. I had to know what I didn't know, and that was a lot when I took over teaching and running the city of Utica. I had to understand SEMCOG, labor laws, the county and state mayors associations, Michigan Municipal League, the county road commission, sewer issues, PD issues, FD issues. The jobs entailed were numerous. I needed to know the laws, the history, and every path to getting things done. I tried like a sponge to absorb it all, and the subjects that I was teaching as well. I had to teach anthropology, and I'd never taken it. Try that sometime. I tried really hard and combined all the trivia I had in my head into the teaching of my students. in French and social studies. And I reinforced it with those trips to Toronto and to France. All in all, I look around and I see the wayfinding signs. They're still there. The river is used by hundreds every year now, and another great big cleanup is about to take place. We have Jimmy John's Field outside of Comerica. It's my favorite place to play ball. A beautiful Riverwalk Park, a lovely signature sign, and oh, by the way, we cleaned out the pipes, we resurfaced the streets, we built and added to our parks. We definitely tried to increase the green area by adding trees. Everything we did probably needs to be replaced now because I've been gone a while. But plus a whole bunch of stuff you don't see, like contracts and procedures, and the learned adults in this room that graduated from UCS. So proud of all of you, including my own 5, all of whom have degrees, 3 of whom are teachers, and 2 firefighters. Got to give my husband a little credit along the way. The emails keep coming from my former students, and they contact me on Facebook. That is really something that gives me great joy. But overall, without my husband and my wonderful family, none of this would have happened. They get my first big hug and kiss for all the joy that the last 50 years have given me. To combine my love of teaching and interest in government brought me such great joy. Joy, by the way, is my favorite word in the entire English language. But over the years, I got much more than I gave, and I am thankful beyond belief for this very, very humbling honor that you have just bestowed on the 13 of us. Thank you, and good luck in the future.
When it comes to my time in Utica Community Schools, I am most proud of my students, their accomplishments and contributions to making this a better world. It is my hope that their time in Utica prepared them for their journey and contributed to their achievements and success. As a recipient of this award, I see it as a very kind and thoughtful thank you from Utica Community Schools.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Nancy Saring, please welcome Catherine Einhaus.
Good evening. I'm Catherine Einhaus, Executive Director of Elementary Curriculum and Programs, and it is my distinct honor and privilege and proud moment to introduce our next recipient, an individual who has had a profound impact on my educational journey and has served as a mentor and a guide for me over my years. Beginning as a secondary mathematics teacher, Nancy Saring's intelligence, dedication, and energy led her to be named district-wide co-chair of mathematics before taking on the role of assistant director of secondary education. One of the legacies the community gained from her time with UCS was Nancy Saring's work to open the district's first secondary specialty program, the Utica Center for Mathematics, Science, and Technology. Her devotion to education is what brought her to the Macomb Intermediate School District after UCS, where she supported the opening of the International Academy of Macomb and the Early College of Macomb. To accept her Legacy of Excellence Award, please welcome to the stage my mom, Nancy Saring.
Good evening, and excuse me, I did not know my daughter was going to be doing this, so I'm a little bit overwhelmed. As I have so often said, in the journey through life, it's not just what you do, but with whom you do it. Family, friends, colleagues have a profound impact on the quality of one's life. I have been blessed to be part of the Utica Community Schools family, and I thank you.
What I'm most proud of is my work with students, working alongside them in two fundamental areas, in debate and forensics, and then understanding other cultures. So I think this award is a wonderful recognition of the importance of an entire community providing the kinds of support for the students of this district. The community members, the business leaders, the educators all play a fundamental role in making this district what it is.
To help celebrate Legacy of Excellence Award honoree Robert Van Camp, please welcome Aaron Sullivan.
Good evening. Robert Van Camp's passion for education was evident in the classroom as a social studies and language arts teacher at Henry Ford II High School and during competitions as a debate and forensics coach. He was recognized as the Teacher of the Year by WDIV Newsweek, the Michigan Council for Social Studies, and the state of Michigan. He also was founder and director of the Far East Institute. Robert Van Camp later became further involved with UCS as an associate principal at Henry Ford II High School and principal at Jeannette Junior High and Eisenhower High School, before finishing his administrative career as superintendent for teaching and learning. Robert Van Camp remains an advocate for UCS students and staff with the UCS Foundation for Educational Excellence. Please help me welcome to the stage Legacy of Excellence honoree Robert Van Camp.
Well, good evening, everyone. Congratulations, retirees, on finding the one remaining suit in your closet and looking at a YouTube video on how to tie a tie. Well done. I am thankful to Tom Leitz, Steve Fanis, Chris Levine, Aaron Sullivan, Kasia Lynch, and the selection committee and the superintendent for this wonderful honor. I am thankful for my wife, Dr. Donna McMinn. Not only did she teach students about Japanese tea ceremony and how to make sushi, and chaperone many debaters at the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island, but we just celebrated our 50th anniversary in June. I'm thankful she said yes. I'm thankful for the lifelong support of my older brother John and his high school classmate Bill Parker. Please don't believe any of the stories they might tell you about me. I am thankful to be carrying on the tradition of my mom, Dorothy Van Camp, a physical education teacher in Detroit and a charter member of the Detroit Federation of Teachers. She instilled in me a love of learning, of caring for everyone, regardless of their background. I am thankful for Mr. David Lathers, longtime Henry Ford II High School principal. He consistently empowered all of us, and in my case, he was a strong supporter of the debate Forensics and Japanese program. I am thankful to the visionary Don Bemis. In the 1980s, he saw the importance of giving students from all 4 high schools the opportunity to learn the Japanese language and East Asian cultures. Students have gone on to work for American and Japanese companies both here and in Japan. I am thankful for the students who took debate. Each year they delved into important policy issues of the day, whether it be criminal justice reform, healthcare, or foreign policy. They analyzed and researched those issues, developed cogent arguments, and persuasively made their case in front of a judge. There are a number of state champion and state finalist debaters in this room. I am thankful to the students who took forensics, whether it was oratory, radio broadcasting, informative speaking, multiple serious or humorous interpretation of literature. They excelled. These students won numerous state championships, and some of them are here tonight. I am thankful for the students who were in the East Asian Institute. They learned one of the most challenging languages, first thanks to Naofumi Matsuoka, and then afterwards, most importantly, from Cochran Sensei, and now from Sullivan Sensei at the Jean Alclida Utica Academy for International Studies. I would like the debaters, forensic students, and Japanese language students to please stand and be recognized. They personify UCS means success. I am thankful for the friendship of an outstanding debate coach and educator, Mr. Robert McBroom, who recently passed away. He himself left an enduring legacy for so many students and staff throughout the Utica Community Schools and indeed Michigan. One of his former outstanding debaters and ex-wife, Dee McBroom, is here this evening. Dee, the UCS community mourns with you. I am thankful to the community for their continued support of this great district. The gathering here tonight is a microcosm of this community. Business leaders who provide internships for students and then hire many of them upon graduation. Parents, and indeed all residents, who consistently improved millages and bond issues, and elected Board of Education members who don't have political agendas, but want what's best for all kids. Board of Education members like Dr. Carol Klenow and Jean Clyda, and the current Board of Education members as well. I'm thankful for Don Bemis, Ray Lope, and other community leaders for establishing the Utica Community Schools Foundation for Educational Excellence. The foundation has given me an opportunity to continue supporting the students and teachers of this great district. By the way, you can do just the same as I am. Go to ucsfoundation.org. Finally, I am thankful to Superintendent Robert Monroe for his leadership and for creating this recognition. There are countless students, staff, and community members who have made important contributions to this district. I look forward to celebrating them in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Van Camp. And I think we're all humbled by what we've heard tonight. I think our 13 recipients have just done a magnificent job of giving us a glimpse of the wonderful contributions not only they have made, but how humbling to hear how many acknowledgments they gave to everybody in the room. And I think that's just the people that they are, and that's why they are our honorees that are moving forward tonight. I want to appreciate everyone's attendance, and I just want to share with all of you, we questioned, how many people we would get for this first community event. And just as recently as just a few days ago, I asked the team, how many seats do we have left? I got to, get some advertisements out, and they said, we're done. It's full. I'm like, what do you mean it's full? I've got like 30, 40 people right in front of me. I need to get them there. No, we're full, Mr. Monroe. You can't invite anybody else. It just shows the sense of community and I think the longing that this community has wanted for several years to be able to come together and enjoy the terrific people in this school district. I want to thank once again Barton Malow for providing this event for us tonight and making this possible. Thank you very much. And I really want to thank, unsolicited, the members tonight that thanked our Board of Education and Board of Educations that make a difference. Their leadership, vision, and commitment, both are Board of Educations of the past, which has truly been a legacy in itself, that has made commitments to the school district, but this current Board of Education that is making a huge difference in the lives of 25,000 students plus each and every day. I want to thank them for their leadership and everything that they do. The legacy of excellence will continue. We will continue to provide this to our community in future years and continuing to see those legacy award winners. But I want to share with you one concluding report because, yes, I do have to get up for work in the morning. In a 1946 report on taking 11 rural schools into one school district, an author challenged future generations by saying, "Times change and we must keep improving. We must meet the standard of a changing society. Let's unite and be proud of our schools. Let's give the children a good foundation." Being here tonight, listening to everyone speak tonight, tells me that we have accomplished that and more, and how proud these visionary leaders would be of what we have built together. I want to thank everybody for attending tonight. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Please share those last few stories on your way out, and everyone, have a wonderful evening.